Your Excellency, Ratu Williame Katunivere, President of Fiji, Naturanga Natui Maduata, and patron of the Fiji Red Cross Society, First Lady, Madam Vilomena Katunivere, Alexander Matau, Regional Director, Asia Pacific for the IFRC, Ms. Megan Rock, Head of the Regional Delegation for the ICRC, Mr. Drew Javier, Pacific Leaders Network Chair, governance members of the Fiji Red Cross Society, fellow presidents, secretary generals, youth leaders who are seated at the back, ladies and gentlemen, Bula Vinaka. When we decided to launch our 50th anniversary celebrations this year, we thought our Pacific Leaders meeting an appropriate occasion to do so, and we're so delighted and honored that you could join us tonight. In the early 1950s, we were a branch of the British Red Cross, and many of our volunteers were nurses who provided medical and first aid support during the two world wars. By 1973, we were officially recognized by the International Committee of the Red Cross as the 118th member of the International Red Cross family. So we officially turned 50 this year. We cannot fully appreciate this milestone without acknowledging and reflecting on the challenges and accomplishments of the last 50 years. These events helped shape us and set the foundation for greater things. We set up our first branch in the little town of Mba in the sugarcane growing belt of Viti Levu in what we refer to as the Western Division on the main island of Viti Levu. The volunteers that started the Mba branch were an important part of our expansion and our presence of the Red Cross in those local communities around Fiji. Within 10 years, we had established a few more branches and continued to recruit volunteers, and our early programs focused on first aid support, water safety training, and advocacy. Today, we have 16 branches across Fiji, including some in the maritime zone, with 800 volunteers assisting approximately 200,000 people every year through the communities we serve. Indulge me, if you will, while I share a few of the highlights of the last 50 years. I'm sure many of you haven't realized or do not know that our past regional director, the late Mr. John Scott, was instrumental in lobbying for the IFRC Secretariat to be located here in Suva, and in this way be closer and better serve the needs of our region. We've had the privilege of being voted in and to represent the Pacific region on the governing board of the International Federation. And at this juncture, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Nitin Gandhi and Mr. Wiley Clark, who were presidents of the society at that time and paved the way. We are now in the process of finalizing our contribution to Fiji's disaster law, and in 2023, we begin our journey to helping enact our very own Red Cross law. A lot has been done and is being done to strengthen the society, and just as our communities evolve, so must we as a national society, especially around the areas of operations. So we must recognize the need for smarter approaches. The Society has just launched its strategic plan for the period 2022 to 2026, and a central part of that strategy is decentralizing our operations to the 4 parts of Fiji. Divisional officers will work closely with our branches to manage and implement programs on the ground and be in a position to react and respond more quickly in emergencies than if we all waited at the national office. While we have grown in leaps and bounds, we must remember that there will always be lessons to learn and things to improve upon. The Society today stands on the shoulders of those who have come before us, and I'd like to take this time to acknowledge and thank past presidents, board members, and staff who have guided this Society in the last 50 years. But I'd also like to acknowledge and extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to the many volunteers who have helped build the Red Cross to what it is today. In our discussions in the last 3 days, one of the most important things we acknowledge is the Red Cross is powered by volunteers. Number 2, they have been and will continue to be our greatest asset. As such, we must take care of them, train them, empower them, and recognize their immense contribution to who we are and what we are as Red Cross.